The story of the Zodiac Killer remains one of the most chilling and mysterious criminal cases in modern history. Unlike many criminals whose identities are eventually uncovered, the Zodiac seemed to emerge from the darkness, leave behind a trail of fear, and then disappear without revealing who he really was. Decades have passed, countless investigators have worked on the case, and thousands of theories have been proposed, yet the true identity of the Zodiac Killer remains unknown. That unanswered question is what gives the story an almost haunted quality. It is not merely a crime story. It is a mystery that continues to linger like a shadow over history. The tale began in Northern California during the late 1960s. At a time when people often felt safe driving quiet country roads or spending evenings under the stars, a series of shocking attacks shattered that sense of security. The unknown killer targeted young couples in secluded areas, striking without warning and leaving behind confusion and terror. What made the crimes especially disturbing was not only the violence but the feeling that someone was watching from the darkness, choosing victims at random, and then vanishing into the night. Witnesses described a figure who seemed ordinary enough to blend into the crowd, making the possibility even more frightening. Anyone could have been the Zodiac, but the true mystery began after the attacks. Instead of hiding completely, the killer started communicating with newspapers and police. Letters arrived containing strange symbols, coded messages, and disturbing claims. The writer identified himself with a peculiar symbol, a circle crossed by lines, and called himself Zodiac. The letters transformed a criminal investigation into a public obsession. People across California, and eventually across the world, became fascinated by the possibility that hidden within the cryptic messages was the killer's identity. Some codes were solved, while others resisted interpretation for decades. The unsolved ciphers became like ghostly whispers from the past, taunting investigators with secrets that refused to be revealed. As fear spread, the Zodiac seemed to enjoy the attention. The letters often contained details that convinced authorities they were genuinely written by the killer. He appeared to understand exactly how to manipulate public fear. Every new message created fresh headlines. Every cipher sparked new theories. Every unexplained clue deepened the mystery. Residents locked their doors more carefully. Parents worried about their children. Ordinary people scanned newspaper articles, wondering whether someone in their neighborhood might secretly be the Zodiac. The killer had become more than a criminal. He had become a symbol of uncertainty and dread. One of the most haunting aspects of the case is how close investigators sometimes appeared to getting answers. Various suspects emerged over the years. Certain individuals seemed to fit parts of the puzzle. Some had backgrounds that matched details from the letters. Others resembled witness descriptions. Yet every promising lead eventually encountered problems. Evidence was incomplete. Timelines did not align perfectly. Fingerprints failed to provide certainty. DNA evidence remained inconclusive. Time after time, investigators would approach what seemed like a breakthrough only to find themselves standing before another dead end. It was as though the mystery itself refused to be solved. The ciphers became legendary. Amateur codebreakers, professional cryptographers, detectives, and curious citizens all attempted to unlock the hidden meanings. Some believed the messages contained the killer's name. Others thought they concealed philosophical ideas or taunts aimed at authorities. One famous cipher remained unsolved for more than 50 years before being deciphered by a team of code enthusiasts. Yet even when parts of the mystery were unraveled, the most important question remained unanswered. The messages revealed fragments of the killer's thinking, but not the identity behind the mask. Instead of bringing closure, each solved clue often created new questions. The case gradually evolved into something larger than a criminal investigation. It became a cultural mystery. Books were written, documentaries were produced. Films explored the obsession of those trying to uncover the truth. Each generation discovered the Zodiac story and found itself drawn into the same web of unanswered questions. Why did the killer write letters? How many crimes were truly connected to him? Did he stop voluntarily, die unexpectedly, or simply disappear into ordinary life? The uncertainty surrounding these questions gives the story an eerie atmosphere unlike most criminal cases. There is also a deeply unsettling possibility that has haunted investigators for decades. The Zodiac may have lived an apparently normal life while the world searched for him. Perhaps he had neighbors who never suspected anything. Perhaps he worked an ordinary job, exchanged friendly greetings, and blended seamlessly into society. The idea that someone capable of inspiring nationwide fear could remain hidden in plain sight is one of the reasons the case continues to fascinate people. The mystery forces us to confront how little we sometimes know about the strangers around us. As technology advanced, new generations of investigators revisited old evidence. DNA analysis, digital databases, and modern forensic techniques offered hope that the case might finally be solved. Every few years, headlines appeared announcing a new suspect or a promising development. Yet none of these breakthroughs delivered a definitive answer accepted by all investigators. The Zodiac remained elusive. The passage of time only added to the legend. Witnesses aged. Original detectives retired or passed away. Evidence grew older. Still, the mystery endured. Today, the Zodiac killer exists in a strange space between history and legend. The crimes were real. The fear was real. The letters were real. Yet the central figure remains almost ghost-like, known by a symbol and a name he created for himself, but not by the identity he carried through everyday life. Unlike fictional villains who are eventually unmasked, the Zodiac's story ends with a blank space. The final chapter was never written. That unfinished ending is what makes the Zodiac killer one of the most haunting mysteries in modern history. It is not merely the story of an unknown criminal. It is the story of a question that has survived for more than half a century. Somewhere within old police files, faded newspaper clippings, forgotten memories, and cryptic symbols may lie the answer. Until that answer is found, the Zodiac remains a shadow moving through the pages of history. A mystery that refuses to die, a name without a face, and one of the most enduring enigmas the world has ever known.